Hello everyone, thanks for tuning back into Desirable Drives. Today we're going to start work on the restoration of my Toyota 6-speed manual gear knob that's featured in this Sportivo. Now, as I said in a previous video, the leather wore out quite dramatically in a couple of spots on this gear knob. So when I had the seat repaired, I got the auto trimmers to make up a new leather cover so I can install it on the gear knob. So this is the old one, it's off. This has been sort of cleaned up and it's been scuffed up with a 60 grit sandpaper so I can get a good bond between that and the leather with my spray adhesive, high strength contact adhesive. Now I want a high bond, so I'm following the instructions and I'm actually putting on a coat on the actual knob. That sounds dodgy. And a coat on the cover. That doesn't sound as near as dodgy. So yep, let's get into it. So first thing we need to do is to remove the little screw that's up inside there. That basically holds on this silver part here. So I'll jam the screwdriver up there. Oh man, I just keep on coming up with all this dodgy stuff. I've really got to think of what I say. Now that screws out, and this basically just folds off like that, and there's a little clip on the bottom here. So now this just reveals the insides of the knob. There we go again. This is a nice metal part. That gives a nice weight to the gear knob. So essentially what we're going to be doing is, this is the cover, the new cover that's been folded flat. The auto trimmers run a stitch down there, similar to the factory, and as you can see there, that is a convex sort of shape, but when you sort of invert it, it then becomes concave. So that's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to match up the concave shape of this with the concave shape of that. And there's a relief that's been sort of not cut into, but it's just part of the when they form the gear knob. So we're going to get the ridge that runs down there, that's part of the stitch, and we're going to match it up with that. So we're just going to do a dry run here. So essentially it just gets put on and that ridge gets folded in through there. Just going to move it down a little bit. So we want a little bit of material sort of sitting up above the gear knob, and then we're wanting to apply pressure, pulling it back that way. So we're actually maintaining the same sort of concave shape of the gear knob there. So I've got some blue painter's tape that's going to be used to sort of tape around the leather like that and hold it in place while the contact adhesive dries. So yep, that's how it's essentially going to start off there. So what we'll do is start putting some spray on here on both surfaces, and we'll get into it. Now this is my first time attempting this. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm assuming it's going to go all right, but we'll just wait and see, won't we? Alright, let's get the spray happening. I'm just going to do a sort of a lightish coat on this. Kind of light, and I'm going to do a lightish coat on this. I'm doing this outside because it's a sort of an aerosol spray and it's got a bit of a smell to it, and I don't want to get high before I go to work, or do I? Alright, so that's both surfaces coated, and now according to the can we just wait until it becomes dry but still tacky. Alright, give that a few minutes and we'll get back into it.
5 minutes later.
Alright, we're back. This is the gear knob. It's still, I'd call that sort of tacky, which is what the description or the instructions say. This is the underside of the leather, and that's quite sticky as well, or tacky, we want to use their word. So it's, yeah, let's get this done. So I'll get the gear knob. Now I want to position it so it's similar to the factory one, which was about, fuck, that's tacky. Position it about there. So I'm really only going to get one go at this. Okay. Quite happy with that. Yeah, that's worked out quite well. So tape that on like so. Okay, that's going to hold that really nicely. So now we're going to work on getting it sort of edged up towards the top here. So I'm just, as you can see there, I'm just sort of pushing against it ever so slightly, as evenly as possible. I don't want to get a crease. I'm not worried about creases once we're on the inside here. Oh yeah, baby, look at that. It's come up quite nicely. Tell you what, that's come up alright, eh? I'm pretty happy with that. Just work my way around here. Like I said, it's my first go at doing this. All in all though, it's come up pretty good. So we're going to just do a test fit here. So it's going to sit in there. Essentially it's going to sit in there like that. Need a little bit just around here. So I've got 1 to 2 minutes of sort of repositioning time. Now leather is a natural product, so it's got the grain through it there, and because you're working with a natural product against a man-made product, it's not going to be 100%, but yeah, that's pretty good. The most important part for me was around here, and that's turned out very nicely. Now this part here is going to get trimmed off at the bottom there, and what we'll do is we'll actually start shoving this into here as well. We're working it into there because I've got a bit of spray on there. That's pretty much held in place by the this back part of the gear knob anyway, and then that's going to be cut down sort of about half that height, and that'll be folded inside the gear knob, and then when that gets screwed on, it'll all be hidden. I'll tell you what, for my first attempt at doing something like this, I'm pretty happy with that. That's very nice. Obviously that's not sitting, it's got to sit in at the bottom a bit more, but it's going to sort of sit in around about there. Now, I do like that. It's very good. Alright, now what we'll do is we'll let that dry, and I'll come back to you shortly with after it's all completely dry and trimmed up. Welcome back, everyone. Now it's still drying. I've done a bit of trimming and everything like that to fit it in. Now, don't concern yourself too much with that little bit of the bulge right there. That definitely gets covered up with the where the gear boot sort of comes up and meets the base of this. There's sort of like a little chrome ring that sort of sits there, so that hides that quite nicely. But this is pretty much positioned and screwed into place, and all in all, I'm very, very, very satisfied with how nicely that's come up. Obviously, this is the elephant in the room. It looks highly, highly shitty because of the chrome that's sort of worn off it. But yeah, I'm still deciding on what I'm going to do with that. So if you've got any ideas, such as buying another replica gear knob off eBay and scavenging this part here, or spray painting this another colour, or trying to get like a silver spray paint so it matches the interior of the car with the silver touches, or even if you think I should do some carbon fibre skinning and go down that route.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Don't be afraid to sort of pop a comment in the comments section and let me know what you think. So until next time, thank you for tuning in once again. And thank you for the all of the subscriptions that are starting to come in. We're rapidly approaching 60. That doesn't sound a lot, but 5 months ago when I started this channel, I had 0 subscribers, so that's a huge increase for me. And I'm looking to do lots more content, lots of more different and interesting content of car shows and the car culture in sort of Australia and Queensland especially. And I hope that you'll join me on the journey, and we'll see where this goes. So, one last thing I forgot to say. Got a big shout out to the Island Boys. They know who they are, but they've asked me to mention them on the video. So, yes, shout out to you, pair of Island Boys. You know who you are. Alright, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.